But what does your circle look like? You sound like you're a very busy lady with career and family. But what's that circle like? Because you dropping game, and it sounds like people need to hear what it is you need to say. Because I'm telling you, I'm going to give my money to someone and hope that they give it back. These casinos will be out of business.
Yeah.
Do you share this info?
Listen, I share a lot of things, and I think the fact that I share so much is why they tune it out. So what I'm going to start doing is being silent and watching y'all go broke. And when I walk by with my shoes on and my coat still buttoned, then I'll let you know. I told y'all. Because
but we can't get the old shoes. What about the old shoes you got? Now that we done lost our shoes, can we get some old joints that you got?
I would give the last on my back to most people. But what I'm not about to do is give you something because you gave away yours. Okay, so that's on you. Okay?
Yeah.
I don't coddle adults. That's my motto. I don't coddle adults. You're grown.
That's legit. Man.
I'll give a child anything.
we coming back to that. We coming back to that. All right. So I appreciate the high school. You're coaching track now. Were there any athletic endeavors when you were in high school?
Man, when I was in high school, sports was just sports. You played. We're athletic. I played sports since I was young. I played baseball. I ran track since I was in elementary school. I've been to the Penn Relays numerous times in Philly. So we did all of that. But the children nowadays have a different mentality than I did. I was the athlete that enjoyed running because I enjoyed running.
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy running if you made me run. That's different.
Is there anything better than a trip getting ready? Nope. For a long journey where our podcast released a new appy, searching for a fade fiending, new fixation. Giving this a subscribe is the same sensation. Started with the day ones, they gave us fuel to support the season. Could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here for a reason. Notification bells, text some friends, all to let you know. Check your Bluetooth, connect, talking with Donato.
Welcome in, everyone. Episode 131. You know, whether you say that forwards or backwards, it's a good number. And today, the title of today's episode is Serenity Now, with our guest, Seryna Muhammad. Seryna, how are you doing this fine day?
Listen, I have nothing to complain about. It wouldn't make a difference anyway.
I use that all the time. I use that all the time. You know, I have a question for you before we even get into this. Do happy people or people in a good place, do they get to complain?
I think they do. It's a time and place for it.
Right. You got to know the room.
It's a time and place. Yes.
Yeah. If there's people
you can't go in the middle of the projects.
Yes.
Complain about your mansion.
You can't. But when you are back in your mansion neck of the woods and you meeting at the little mailbox with your neighbor in the house slippers, then y'all can talk about some things.
You can talk about some things as long as you don't throw your family under the bus or friends. You're good.
Yes.
Talk about everybody else.
Yeah. Okay. Then this is gonna be great because I feel comfortable. Like I can already ask you that already, and we're gonna have to come back to that because I feel real comfortable with you. Have always felt pretty comfortable with you. We didn't grow up together. But I want to come back to that, and I think you know where I'm going with it. By the end of this, our listeners will already know why I said that. Let's start with, man, where you grow up at?
Philly.
What?
I grew up in Philly. I was born in Brooklyn, grew up in Philly.
Oh, wait a minute. Isn't that a dichotomy? So aren't they like enemies? Like one thinks one
apparently
spot is
not.
the greatest?
Apparently not. I'm not going to choose sides, but I grew up in Philly. Would I say it's the best place to grow up? No, but it made me who I am today. Wow. So that's what I have from. Am I moving back? Not at all.
Yeah. What can you tell me? And you can look down on me on this, but a lot of us ain't live in Philly. I used to go there a lot. You see, I used to go there. I don't have to date myself here, but I used to go there in like 2000, 2001. I did a lot of spoken word journeys from where I was. I was over in Aberdeen, Maryland, but I would make that drive. That was like an hour, but that was nothing for me. But I'm really curious. One of the first things that you got to help me with since you grew up there, yo, what's West Philadelphia, born and raised? Like, was that the suburbs? Was that the good part?
No,
it sounds like it was.
No, but it was a lot of families down there.
Oh.
There were a lot of family settings. So it wasn't completely the hood or the ghetto, but there were a lot of families that just didn't have a whole lot. So they kind of looked out for one another until the Philly started changing. So it was more like a community feel in West Philly. So you were proud of it. You repped it. You looked out for those who came from there, like the boroughs.
Yeah. Something tells me you know a little bit about basketball. Am I right about that?
Just a tad for the past 18 years.
So I just want to ask you something. Where the best basketball players from? Philly or New York or Georgia?
Wherever my son was born. My son was born in Jersey.
Okay. Well, you know, I just wanted.
That's where they come from.
I wanted to see where you was gonna go with it.
Born in Jersey with a little bit of Philly flavor from his mom and his dad.
Yeah. Okay. We're gonna come back to Philly because I hope you're gonna help us out with this because some of us ain't never lived there, but we curious.
Okay.
Y'all seem like y'all got an amazing jazz scene. What is that about? There was so many jazz clubs when I went there in 2000, 2001. What is going on? I thought that was like New Orleans.
It's some camaraderie that's in Philadelphia. So there are a lot of groups in Philly, but there also is music. Music is there. Think of Boys to Men. Think of groups like that.
Yeah.
They sang. They did not rap. They didn't do anything else. They harmonized, even without a beat. So this is where a lot of stuff still lies. There's still those little pockets of nice, small environments that avoided the violence and all the other stuff and can just celebrate music. And that's what makes it great. Those are places everyone doesn't know about. And if you don't know about it, you probably weren't meant to know about it until someone told you.
I lived in Pennsylvania for a while though, not Philly. I had a job, right? And it was down in Carlisle. I'm sure you heard of it, but you probably ain't even been there. What's the reason to go? But I was like, yo, single dude. I had a Mustang. I had a motorcycle. I was like, yo, I need to be in the state capital. So I got me an apartment up in Harrisburg. Seryna, this is where you got to stand up for the Keystone State. What was y'all thinking, man? Why y'all do that? I know the answer, but I want to hear your answer. Why Harrisburg is the worst state capital in the world?
Who chose Harrisburg? It wasn't us. Because nothing happens out there that connects with us, okay?
Yes.
That's every law, everything is made in Harrisburg, but there's not a whole lot of us that are active in Harrisburg.
No,
I feel like they did that on purpose.
They did. Now, here's the answer that I know, the book answer. Our forefathers could not decide on Pittsburgh or Philly, and so they took the geographical center, and that's why it is the case. That's why Harrisburg is the capital. That's the only reason. That's the only reason. They couldn't make a decision. They didn't want to make people mad.
That's beautiful. It's nice when you just get to do stuff. You just close your eyes and point.
Yeah. They let me down, Seryna. And I still got one or two friends. I ain't got a lot, but I got one or two friends in Harrisburg. And if they watching this episode, man, y'all know.
They know. Don't worry about it. They don't even do specials on Harrisburg. I've seen specials on Pittsburgh, their bars, their Irish pubs. They don't mention Harrisburg.
No, they don't. Yeah, it was a letdown. It was like I spent a lot of time in Carlisle, and then I was riding that motorcycle down there in like York, Gettysburg, Chambersburg. Just when it's got the space, biker boy. That's what I am. That's what I do.
Good things.
When I think of Philadelphia, I think of cheesesteak. So I gotta ask you this: Am I allowed to put any condiments on it after I get it from the person who makes it?
See, I've been one to always buck the system. Okay. I'm a cheesesteak person. But my thing is, I grew up with a little bit better foods. Okay. My mom didn't. So we got cheesesteaks. But if the grease from your cheesesteak leaked all the way through your cheesesteak, I'm not eating it because I was raised a little bit differently. So I love
Oh,
my cheesesteaks, but it doesn't have to be saturated with anything. But I don't even, half the time, if they do it right, you don't need any condiments on it.
oh,
You don't need anything. It's the grease and all of that stuff that you try to keep together. That is not my thing. I'm trying to live a long time, not just eat 2 cheesesteaks.
but you would go out happy though, right? Like you die
No,
with
I
it.
go out with clogged arteries and some indigestion because of my age. Like that's what I would go out with.
So and this will be my last Philadelphia thing. If you gotta give me one artist out of Philly, you only get one. Who you give me? You give me Jill Scott. You give me the Roots. You give me Boys the Men. You gonna give me Will? Because Will,
you know
Will
what?
is a big movie star too.
Yeah, but to be representing, he represents Philly, but he represents a time in Philly probably a little before I came along. He's a little bit older than me, but I would do like Music Soul Child. He was Philly through and through. Oh my gosh, his early albums in Philly, nothing compares to him. I don't even listen to his Atlanta music unless it comes on the radio. But his earlier albums, please, my children know those albums word for word, and it is on their playlist.
Wait a minute,
They didn't even live in Philly.
Now I like Music Soul Child, but wait, I need to make sure that the discography is correct. You went very music industry on me there when he got with Atlantic. What is that album? What album should I be searching before the Atlantic?
The original albums. I Just Want to Sing, I think it was.
Okay.
Or I Love Music. The earlier like 2 or 3 albums, 1 through 3, and then he moved to Atlanta and became more rah-rah. But he was neo soul through and through.
Okay.
He was completely neo soul, but you could find a song for different times. He had a song named 17. He was dating this girl, all out, loved her, invited her out to the club one day and was confused on why she couldn't get in.
Oh.
So then the song goes through how he figures it out. And now she goes through all the stages of grief. She's angry. She's begging. Now she's cursing him out. Yes, it's called 17.
Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. You know what? You just gave me something to check out. I'm doing that as soon as we done with this.
Yes, it's a great. I mean, the song that album is on, that is an album.
Man, I missed that. 5'7" with light green eyes, body built like a woman over 25.
Yes.
Plus, she pushed the whip that the average woman couldn't get. Less she worked about 2'9" to 5. Wait, hold on, man.
Yeah.
Hold on. I okay. All right. Thank you very much. See, this is why we
see it, right?
This is why we doing this.
I have to tell you, Jill Scott puts on a performance that would make you pay again on the way out.
What? Yeah, I've never seen her live.
I've seen her twice. And she does live music. She does the band. She goes over and scats with the band. She'll freestyle over here with this artist. She puts on a show. Okay. She doesn't have to be all dancing around. She puts on a performance.
I've always been a fan.
Like Kendrick. Kendrick put on a good performance. I've seen that too.
Hey, did she do a Tiny Desk yet, Jill? Did she do a Tiny Desk?
I haven't seen it.
Okay, because
but she did do. Remember when they were doing verses? She did verses against. I can't think of who it is now, but it was a great versus. I don't think it was Keisha Cole. I think it was somebody that's been out a little longer.
I don't think I saw that one. I don't think I saw that one.
Yeah, I didn't do all of them, but that one was nice.
Yeah. Wow. I would love to. I don't think you better be tight. Whoever it was, I'm hoping they were legit because it wasn't Lauryn Hill. I don't think she did a versus Lauryn Hill.
Erykah Badu. Erykah Badu.
But that was all love though, right? There's no confrontation.
No, there's no beef. But the talent that they brought to the table, because Erykah Badu, she's a lot. Okay. Yeah. She's a lot out there. But she's so talented.
Yeah, she
is. Her with Jill Scott, being with Jill Scott made her be more lyrical than performing because she had to compete.
Yep.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
All right. So you from Philly. Y'all are on the map right now because there's a certain elementary school that is getting a lot of awards for. I mean, it's really putting Philly on the map. They've won a lot of awards, and not to mention having a black actress, writer. I believe she also directs. I don't want to undersell her, so I'm gonna say it, and then we can walk it back. You got
Yes.
Cheryl Lee Ralph in it. What else can I say? They have some good cameos. I want to say that really has
Abbott Elementary.
Yes.
I love that show.
That really puts y'all on the map, and I feel like
that show.
Man, I feel like that makes a lot of people late to the party to really embrace that city. But it's a good shine right now. What are your thoughts? And then you had a little history in education, right?
Yes.
So it means
I think Abbott Elementary is entertaining. It's not over the top, but it highlights a lot of stuff and makes a comedy, but points out a lot of the issues that we have in Philly in our public schools, all the way coming up. So to see it with Shirley Ralph in it just makes it even better because she's phenomenal.
Yeah, she is.
And the brothers from Everyone Loves Chris.
Yep.
I love how they transitioned also to a more adult role, and he fits right into it. Yeah. So I think it does well to highlight, but a lot of people should be shocked unless you grew up in that type of area that a lot of that stuff is real. You don't have enough desks for the children in your room. That's still happening today. And that's crazy, but it's there, and at least somebody is bringing it to light.
Yeah.
I think it's a great show.
Them being able to tackle those issues with the comedic tone, but ain't nobody joking. You know, this is all real. So, all right, I'm glad that you're familiar and that you find it as entertaining as the rest of us. Because I was.
Well, let me tell you this.
Oh.
One of I coach track, youth track.
Oh.
One of my athletes had a cameo in there. He was one of the children in the classroom.
What?
Didn't know. I just happened to see it watching an episode.
Yeah.
And saw him sitting in the classroom.
Now, I know you were living in that Atlanta area. Did they do some filming there? Because I thought they were filming it, even though it's based out of Philly. They was filming it in California. Did that
I have no idea.
Out? Oh, okay.
He probably did because he has like billboards and stuff in other countries. He models and does other stuff. He runs track. He's really good, but we didn't know about that until we saw him on TV and started looking into it. He has like a whole ad campaign.
Jack of all trades.
And he's only 9 now.
You gotta be kidding me.
Yes, he's 9 now, and he was on this show like 2 years ago.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So
nothing wrong with being a child star.
You never know.
Yeah.
Atlanta, you can connect to anybody and everybody.
This is true.
You never know.
I know well. So let's talk a little. I always do this. I say that, but I don't do it with everybody. Bear with me on this. Senior year, you in the lunch line. You just got your meal. The meal dude slopped it on your tray. Even if you brown bagged it, just stay with me here. What table after you got that tray are you sitting at?
As a senior in high school?
Yes.
It was a very slim chance I was there during lunch.
Wait a minute.
I went out to eat. I would go across the street to the pizza shop and eat over there. I used to take orders and bring back cheesesteaks and then have to go through the metal detector and the scanner with the cheesesteak on there. They used to be upset because they know it's hot, so they know I left and came back.
Yep.
But if the right police officer, you were good. But if I had to go in the lunchroom, I would say at that point, I was probably playing pity pat or something like that with somebody at a lunch table. I never gambled, but they did. So I played, and if they started playing for money, I backed up. But my money was hard to come by. I don't give it away.
Ah,
Nobody.
I,
Yeah, that was a rough
I don't know
time.
how. I'm. Tell me if I'm wrong. I made a joke when we did our pre-production meeting about Vegas, but I remember the first time I went to Vegas, I was there for business, and I was like, "Yo, I gotta go to the casinos." Went to casinos, and let's say once I started betting, and I'm up to 150 or 160. I took the extra $60 and I put that back in my shirt pocket. So then I know that's good. And then if I got up to $200 and I got my money back. So then I take I take this 100 and I'll put that in the pocket. So I'm walking away either way good, and I get to play with this other stuff. So I started with 100. I left with about 220, 230. Apparently, you're not supposed to leave a table when you're hot or when you're up. Yeah. So I'm just very curious though. Have you ever been to Vegas? And what's that gambling like now though? I know you said then you didn't, but if you know if you're at a table
Nope.
and someone wants you to, would you?
Nope. The most I do is slots. I don't even go to casinos now because it's for me to walk around and hand people my money and hope they hand it back is not fun. Like, what type of logic is that?
Yeah.
Watch you spin that wheel one time is not fun enough for me to pay you to spin it. Okay. You already got paid to spin that wheel. You don't need my money to spin it. So I'm gonna sit here
like that. Where were you when the rest of us lost a little bit of rent money, a little bit of gas money? Where were you then?
I don't even bet in the house. They'll be like, yeah, I bet you $5 you'll get this. I'm like, we don't gamble, so I don't know what to tell you. None of y'all got jobs enough to gamble. You got your money from me, so how you gonna play with it?
That's
like,
true.
no.
That's true.
Like,
wait,
no.
let's back up. Let's back up here. That was the most amazing line ever that you just said, and I need more people to hear that. I'm clipping that one. But what does your circle look like? You sound like you're a very busy lady with career and family. But what's that circle like? Because you dropping game, and it sounds like people need to hear what it is you need to say. Because I'm telling you, I'm going to give my money to someone and hope that they give it back. These casinos would be out of business.
Yeah.
Do you share this info?
Listen, I share a lot of things, and I think the fact that I share so much is why they tune it out. So what I'm going to start doing is being silent and watching y'all go broke. And when I walk by with my shoes on and my coat still buttoned, then I'll let you know. I told y'all. Because
but we can't get the old shoes. What about the old shoes you got? Now that we done lost our shoes, can we get some old joints that you got?
I would give the last on my back to most people. But what I'm not about to do is give you something because you gave away yours. Okay, so that's on you. Okay?
Yeah.
I don't coddle adults. That's my motto. I don't coddle adults. You're grown.
That's legit. Man.
I'll give a child anything.
we coming back to that. We coming back to that. All right. So I appreciate the high school. You're coaching track now. Were there any athletic endeavors when you were in high school?
Man, when I was in high school, sports was just sports. You played. We're athletic. I played sports since I was young. I played baseball. I ran track since I was in elementary school. I've been to the pin relays numerous times in Philly. So we did all of that. But the children nowadays have a different mentality than I did. I was the athlete that enjoyed running because I enjoyed running.
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy running if you made me run. That's different. Okay. That's where the fun stopped. So I cut a lot of corners, which showed up in college when I went to run in college, and they were confused when they wanted me to work out 3 times a day and go to classes. I told them it's impossible. I don't think I can manage that. So that was my last year running track. But yes, we had a workout at 6:30 a.m. Then I had an 8 o'clock class. Then you went to your other classes. Then I had practice right after my 12 o'clock class. Then I had to go to the trainer to be stretched. and then you had an evening workout, and any calisthenics that you were supposed to do in sets of 50 were supposed to be done individually. I'm sorry, I don't have enough time in my day to work out that much, and I don't have a desire.
Nah.
So, but athletes now, the ones that buy in, they completely buy in. I look at how my athletes train and how much work they put in. It's different. I ran because I was naturally fast and I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Okay. They run because they're trying to be FloJo and they're trying to be Usain Bolt.
Yep.
It's different. I wanted to be fast. I didn't want to be someone else that was defying gravity, because that's what he's doing. He's defying gravity and speed. Okay.
Okay. I need to know something here. On your block growing up, how many dudes you get? I mean, we all know that fast girl that's on the block, and you got a Dodger, but you don't want to race her. How many bodies you caught? How many times you had to get them?
I prided myself in elementary school in being faster than any boy in that school. I think there was one boy faster than me in that school. Ooh. So no one played tag with me. Middle school, it wasn't as cool to run around. I still climbed stuff. I still was outside. High school, I loved it. And then I realized that the people that put in more work apparently do better. Oh. So I started to see the problem.
Yeah.
And I made a conscious decision to not fix the problem. I said, you know what? It's too far gone. I'm not going to make it. But I love sports. I cheered all through high school. I cheered when I was younger. So I coach youth track also in the off season, fall. I'll coach youth track, and I'll coach cheer in the spring. In the fall, and track in the spring and the summer.
Oh, so, wait! I didn't know you did the cheer thing. Wait, what was those dimensions back then? Was you like 5'3", 100? What size were you?
I wasn't even 100 pounds. I went to college. I delivered my son at like 115, and he was 7 pounds.
That's what I thought. So were you a flyer?
Yes, and I started at like 95 pounds coming out of high school.
That's what I thought.
So yes, I didn't have a choice. I was always going to be flying because I couldn't be the base. That was not a job.
The flyer is the cheerleader that is tossed. Yeah, okay. I kind of thought so. I was waiting. I was sitting on that one. Wait, so hold on. Nobody wants to deal with them girls from Philly. I'm thinking like a Bring It On. So some suburban girl from Wisconsin, she don't want none of that. She don't want to like that. Is that real? Like, is that movie kind of those routines?
Listen,
is it that serious?
My local high school cheerleader. First of all, I didn't realize cheerleading was so expensive. It wasn't that expensive when I cheered. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Now they're dropping $4,000 in a year just for registration.
What?
That doesn't include travel. That doesn't include anything. And that's every year for high school cheer.
Nah.
And they are bringing, the flips, the air, the whole nine. And these aren't small girls. These are healthy Southern girls that are truly destroying it. And we did all of what we did, but the passion that's in sports now has to be heightened because of everything.
Yes.
So it's different. And when I do cheer, I have this thing. I love cheer, but what you're not going to be as fresh. So I eliminate some cheers.
Yep.
There was this little cheer where they had to turn around and they dropped down into like a 3-point stance like football players do.
Oh, yeah.
And they said, hut, 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 while they bounced backwards. We eliminated that cheer. I was like, why would you bend over?
Nah.
But everybody doesn't see it. They think it's just part of what it is. They think track, you have to be half naked to run track because that's what they do in college. And that's not the case.
Thank you. Yep. Thank you. Man. You were dropping some. See, this is why we do that. The listeners, they're getting some good stuff here because all I know is I would prefer that there wasn't a lot of attention pointed to a person constantly, let's just say, readjusting their uniform when it is behind them after a couple movements. I just don't think if you got to keep doing all that, I think that's more distracting. I think that's more against the efficiency of you and your technique and what you're out there to do. But,
and all the self-esteem and all of that. So now we argue over self-esteem. Well, this is part of the reason, because we're allowing them to judge us on things they should never even see.
No.
They shouldn't be there. But guess who? You would not believe who I fight with the most about uniforms.
Parents.
Yes. You know what they tell me? My daughter doesn't feel comfortable unless it's short. My daughter wants to look like what she sees on TV.
Yeah.
I fight with female parents.
Yep.
And guardians more than anybody about.
Well, I'm a youth sports coach. Right now I'm coaching a 4 to 6 year old travel softball. And so I know it well. Yes. I know what they trying to do. These little girls, if they don't have the little hair ties in that matches the uniform, it's wrong. Little 5 and 6 year old girls are wearing lip gloss.
I know, and it's tinted and all bright and I think you should be a child when you can be a child. And I'm going to help you do that. I'm not going to stunt your growth, but I'm going to help you.
Okay, I'm going to get off of that. I'm going to ask you a little bit about. So you went to college. What was the degree that you thought you were going to do? Well, I want to know, what was your interest? What did you say you wanted to do?
I was going to be a doctor.
Okay, did not know that.
Yep, that was my degree. Was it logical? It was not. You don't come out of a public school, high school that only has half teachers on staff. I had a permanent sub in my science class. The same problem was on the board. Every time that someone came in, it would look like we were working. So to take that foundation and try to go to college and be a pre-med major, man, it was like a dog trying to lay an egg. It was like, it doesn't even make sense. So I ended up changing to elementary ed because my GPA was below, it was like a 1 point something.
Yes.
I changed to education and got A's and B's in all my classes the next semester.
No, I appreciate that you're willing to share that. So thank you for that. When I first went to college, I thought I was going to be a physical therapist because I remember when I was a kid, I saw it and I'm looking at jobs that made 6 figures and whatever I saw. Well, first of all, I wanted to be a lawyer, but then I kind of switched to physical therapist because it sounded flashy. I don't know what happened there. Here's what I can tell you, Seryna. I'm in 8 o'clock biology class, sitting on the front row, but I'm still doing this. Eyes are heavy, nodding off. But in my mind, I was like, no, I'm sitting on the front row, so I'm going to get something. Nah, you're just a big distraction, head bobbing the whole time. So then the grades are not good. So then I'm able to switch over to the art school. I didn't know I had talent. I got 4 tattoos. I've drawn them all. I've done some for other people. I didn't know I had that kind of skill. But hey, when you're trying to stay in college and all your friends
do what you have to. Yep.
I didn't know. But then I was like, dang, okay, well, good. Now I can stay in school. Until I got into art history class. And then I fall asleep in art history class. Death by PowerPoint.
I hated that class.
So at that point, I came home one day. My mom lived in town. This was the hometown I grew up in. And I was like, hey, Mom, how we paying for school? She said, we taking out loans, baby. I was like, what? Nah, this ain't good. How about this? I'm going into the Army because I know they got a lot of money for me. And it seems like I need to grow up a little bit. I need to man up because I ain't focused. These D's and C's that I'm getting, that ain't good. And she was against it, but I did it. And then when I went to the Army, I was able to come back to school later with that Army money. I would love to tell you I got straight A's. That didn't happen, but it was better than the first time. And this time it was free. And when I say free, I served for the
you earned it. Okay, well, shoot, I came back. It wasn't free or free-ish, but I've been on the dean's list since I started my master's.
Oh,
through my doctorate and everything.
so
So
you
when
figured
I
it out.
went back, it's the focus.
Yes.
Someone should have told me that people that barely graduate from high school with a D average should not be pre-med majors. It's
Yes.
not like it was just that final semester. I got these grades the whole time. Why didn't anyone tell me? Why didn't my school counselor say this might not be the best decision? Instead, she let me apply everywhere and didn't tell me.
So I was the first in my family to go straight to college. So my parents didn't know. My dad's in the military. My mom would have gone, but she ended up having to raise my older sister. And so she didn't get that opportunity at that time to matriculate the normal route, like straight out of high school and all that. And this, like, even now, I'm in education now. I've worked at 5 institutions of higher learning. In fact, that's what I was doing in Carlisle. Shout out to Dickinson College. I was there. And Penn State, Harrisburg, taught a class there. Millersville University, if you're familiar. But again, I know you ain't going out there to Carlisle, Millersville, Lancaster. You don't go
It's
out
good
there.
to know them, though.
To you, that's Amish country.
Listen.
Y'all think anything outside is Amish country, right?
Listen, I've been in. They do some good work out there. You don't.
Oh, we do.
That Amish country, their furniture, it's amazing. It lasts forever.
The problem is a lot of people ain't never been to PA, so they don't know. So when you put them up on game, you really got to explain it because they have no reference.
And they really don't get it. But go ahead.
But I just feel bad because what I have seen is it is a money grab. You can't talk these kids out from thinking they're going to be doctors. So we're going to accept you. We're going to see you in orientation. We accepted you to the school. But then we kind of know, well, we probably going to at least get a year's worth of tuition out of this joker before they either flunk out.
At least.
Yes.
And I'm a firm school counselor or not. I'm a firm believer that everybody's path straight out of high school is not college.
No.
Some people need that time to figure out what they want to do and see if this is what they want. I thought it was a given. I was going to college to get away from home. So that made sense. I was like, this is how you grow up. You go to college.
Yep.
And then you move out.
Yes.
So that was my plan. And it worked. Just not exactly in the time frame.
Well, I think the fact that you and I, something tells me you and I don't keep this kind of stuff to ourselves. When we keep it real and we share that with students, I do a lot of high school visits here in the town that I live in.
Nice.
And one of the things I do is I let the kids know, hey, man, don't go to school and try to major in what your mama wants you to be. Your mama wants you to be a doctor. I know everybody's mama wants them to be a doctor. Hey, don't fool yourself. That you got to actually study. And I was I was on the front row.
We didn't know.
No, we didn't.
Me too. I was sat on the front row and I still didn't pass the class. I was awake. So I don't know what I was seeing in reading because I didn't pass and I sat next to her. So I tried.
No, it's a thing. For me, I tested really well. I had an amazing SAT score.
Me too.
I do normally test well. And that also allowed some of those institutions to be like, hey, we can take that one. That don't mean nothing. That just means I did on one day, on one test, your boy did all right.
Listen, some of us, that's what we thrived on coming out of high school, okay? I applied to all my colleges before November of that fall of my senior year. Why? Because I knew my GPA was sucky. So I applied before everybody else did. And my SAT scores were well. I only did not get into 4 out of the 13 schools I applied to. I was going to a farming school. That was the first one that accepted me. I was going to accept it. I was like, listen, I'm going. Okay, I'm just leaving here.
Yo, can a city girl thrive out at a farming school? Okay.
No.
I was gonna say.
I didn't make it because I started telling people and they were like, you're going where?
Yeah.
What do they major in? And I was like, I have no idea. I applied.
I'm out.
Just going.
They're gonna call me Seryna.
I didn't even know to look for majors. I just knew to look for schools that I could get into.
Yep.
So, and then choose a major from what they offer. So I
So
go
the
into a
good thing is,
restaurant.
we're passing this along, and if they'll listen, if our peers, if the generation after us, who still might be our peers, our friends, we got younger friends, we got friends our age, we got younger friends. Do you think they listening to us?
They're starting to listen more. I can say you start listening around 30 something. The problem is we got it. The ones we're telling now, their children will start listening because they already have done it. But I can tell you, I work a lot with the schools. That's what my nonprofit does. I work a lot with students and children to see that there are other things you can do out there. Like don't box yourself in, tie yourself down with debt.
Yes.
If you're not really ready.
No, there's other things that you could be doing. I won't say the military is for everybody. It was great for me. It's funny. My dad used to say that all growing up. I was like, everybody needs to go to basic training. And then after I went to basic training, learned so much about myself. I ain't gonna lie. I kind of turned into my dad, and I believe a lot of people could have learned something by going to basic training.
I think they do. It's discipline. Order, routine, repetition. We don't have that anymore. We don't have that drive.
No.
We're quick to move. We don't want to do what people did. We want to do something new, even though what they did benefited them too.
Yes.
You don't have to leave everything behind.
I want to know, what would your peers say to describe you?
I'm going to say loud first because I know they are. I'm one of the people that if you want a room's attention, the speaker comes and asks me to get their attention. Because my voice just has it. I mean, my voice isn't high pitch. It's not, and I don't have to be loud to be loud. So if I walk into a room or into an auditorium and I say quiet, they're going to hear me and they're going to pay attention. And I've tested it.
So I've learned that from the military. We're getting into a gender thing here, and I'm generalizing, but when we call cadence, that's when we're marching and someone is singing / keeping us in step.
Doug, don't forget. See what you forgot, Doug, is I grew up in the Nation of Islam. We drill.
Oh yeah.
I called cadence. We had a perfect score. We were the first team to have a perfect score in military drill. So yes.
So
that
then
is my thing.
You know a thing about voice inflection.
Yes.
Putting that bass in it so it'll carry. Because if you're pipsqueak, which a lot of females who don't know, they're pipsqueak and it don't carry.
Yep. They're pulling it from up high.
Hey.
Listen, I can stand at one end of a football field and call my athlete from the other end.
Okay, we got back up. Yo, I think just because I've seen your social media, I believe it might have been your mom's. Talk to me about that drilling. Like, was that like a national competition? Like, is this something that you could be like, yo, we the best in like all of America? Like, is it
they came from all over? No, we do it in our region and then we continue on forward. But we have mosques in London. We have them in other countries. They came and drilled. Okay.
Oh, what? Hold on
the
now.
Females and
international.
International. And the thing is, it's universal because there are basic steps. The difference is the South might do it a little differently because they do everything a little differently.
Yes.
Up north, we are military. Our legs are high. We're loud, unison, the whole nine. In the South, they look like they're running like that. But it teaches, that's that basic training, because in order to drill in the mosque, you have to have discipline. You have to be able to stand still at attention. You don't talk back. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. You follow commands. Ooh. You hit corners. I know how to walk into a room and hit every corner in that room with precision. Okay. Wow. I know my obliques. I know pivoting. I know all of that. And that's because they got us to focus on something else when we were adolescents and teenagers besides the world out there. We were coming to the mosque 4 days a week to practice.
Oh, I was going to get to that. We were. You already answered it.
Yep, we were there. I mean, when it got close to competition, we were there every day practicing, but it was fun.
For those who don't know, can I stay on this just for a little bit longer? We called it counter column in the Army. When let's say you have 4 columns, and that outside we're walking forward, and we all have to turn and come back, but we're not going to do an about face. This is called the Army. Did y'all have the counter column? Could you do that? You knew how to call it.
We can do it in steps. Yes, we did it in step. Nothing we did on that stage was out of unison. There wasn't anything that they did differently than one another. As a DI, I might have done something differently. Like we had one drill routine that I came up the middle, and as I came through, they saluted. So that is the only thing I did different. I sidestepped up the middle in a salute while they saluted me as I marched, as I came through. So those are things that we do. We walk off a stage in unison. We come on stage in unison. We cut corners. We hit them corners, even if they're invisible. If the first person in line does it, I don't care if they do it 8 times. You do it 8 times. And it taught us how to be one.
That's legit.
It was beautiful. And they started doing it in Philly. We used to have Unity Day, where all the Black community in North Philly used to come together. They set up stages. The local artists used to come and perform back when you could do more of these things without violence. And we drilled for Unity Day. We taught other people how to do military drill because it wasn't about the religious part. It was about the discipline. Okay. So we taught them how to do that and take out the sexuality part and all of that and just stick to military style drill. I mean, they added some more upbeat hip hop type stuff, but that's fine. It just made us focus on something else. And I loved it for that.
It sounds like somebody got you in at least 1 or 2 parades around Philly or something, right? Anybody ever invite y'all to be in a parade?
All over. Yes. And my sisters kept doing it. Yep. My sisters kept doing it. And they did it for years after I left, because once I aged out and went with the adults, I still kept drilling, but they continued with the juniors. And my sister started when she was like 5, and we won.
All right. So who the nicest in the family though? I mean, who the tightest? Who the tightest? Because let's see, your mom, is it true that perhaps your mom might have been a Marine?
My mom, my dad, my stepdad, everybody.
And
the military was not playing.
We'll say this.
My whole family.
I don't care. I was Army, and when you see mom, thank her again for her service. But I will tell you this: there's certain things we pick on each other. I'll never say any one is better than the other. We all got different jobs. So how are we gonna be? We're not judged the same. But if it comes to who's the best at marching, everybody knows it's the Marines. I don't care who you are. You lying to yourself if you're an Army dude, like, oh, we got the Marines are.
There's a reason why the Marines dress blues look like they do. There's a reason why they're selected for the things that they're selected for, because of how they look in that uniform. They're built to look like that.
It's the best uniform, and they look the best in the uniform. Because they'll haze you up out of there. You can't be overweight. Everybody's tight. We a little chubby, but not them.
Honestly, unless you can still do your whole job with that same chubbiness, and if we're a unit, I'm gonna need everybody in my unit to be able to pitch in. And if you are not able to pitch in, we got a whole problem. We got a whole problem.
No, you got to be able to literally handle your weight over there. They don't mess around. Okay. I want to come back to one last little thing here before we move it forward. If you had a chance to talk to the 17-year-old version of you, the you version now, talking to that 17-year-old version, what you telling her?
I'm not going to lie. She's not going to listen.
Dang!
17-year-old me would not have listened
to
anybody because I thought I knew. I thought I knew everything.
Yeah.
So, no, I wouldn't have listened. I was moving the way I wanted to move, the best I could around the discipline that my mother put down. Yeah. So I was moving away. I can't see her saying anything differently. And that's unfortunate, but it is what it is. I'm lucky I was able to bob and weave my way through those years. But I can tell you this, you could not pay me to go back and be a teenager nowadays.
No.
I wouldn't do it.
No.
it's too much. It's
I
between
agree.
social media and expectations from adults,
Yes.
and I can't do it. Even grandparents now. Your grandparent used to be the neutral one. Now your grandparent is just as rowdy as the mom. I
Yep.
can't.
Yeah. Oh, I see it. Remember, I'm coaching youth sports, and
Yes.
grandpa didn't even use a metal bat once in their lives, telling us how nice they was with a wood bat and how good they kids supposed to be. But man, we ain't even using the same materials, man. Ugh.
Yeah, I get that all the time. They come in and tell me I was a sprinter in school. My child's a sprinter. And then I look at their child and I look back at them and say, I'm sorry. Here we
Thank you.
all do different things. So I'm gonna need you to just wait and see what your child works out in, because I'm looking
Yes.
at your baby and your baby doesn't want to sprint. They're looking at me like, please don't do that.
Nah.
Please.
I love it when the first thing I coach a lot of different things. I'm just gonna stay on softball because I'm here now. I'm in season. But if I have another dad that tells me, "Oh, I played in the minors," or a mom to tell me that she played in college, that don't do nothing for me. Your kid they're between 4 and 6, and your kid can't remember which arm to throw with. So
Exactly.
what are we doing?
I don't want to hear it. I love when parents think they're instead of just recognizing the talent they really do have,
Yes.
they start setting these expectations. Yeah, he's gonna be in the NBA. Is he? Because he's 6 now.
Yeah.
My favorite thing, Doug, used to make everybody mad at games. I am a football mom through and through. I love football. Would I put my children in it nowadays? No. But they played then. Okay. But when parents used to get animated, I used to ask them if they were getting a college scholarship from middle school. I used to be like, so what college is here?
Yeah.
Because
they don't
you're
like
confused. Yes. Oh no, they hated it. That was fun too. I reserve the right when I go to sporting events to yell at anybody, any ref I choose to, because I paid to get in. That is my motto. So I don't yell at people's children. I don't care how old their children are. I'm not even going to say your child's jersey number. Okay. But I am going to yell when I don't agree. And sometimes I make things up. Sometimes the call is from football, but I think it applies. So I
mentioned it earlier. I can't even believe this is 50 minutes already. You're easy to talk to. I mentioned it before, and I think for those who are listening, they're either fans of the podcast already, or they're certainly fans of you, and they already know. But what is it that you do now? What are you doing now?
So I recently discovered that the school system is not a good environment for me, because ultimately I was going to have a foster home full of children.
Yeah.
And my mental couldn't take that. And I was so limited. So while I was in the school system, I looked for mentors for my minority males, any minority males and their families. I was unable to find anything that could meet the needs of the students in the community. I have people coming, straight immigrants coming from other countries and all of that good stuff. But I run a nonprofit, Shape My World, Inc. It looks at diet, exercise, and how it affects behavior and family dynamics. I also work with college students. I counsel them. I do last minute appointments, anything they need. I do 30-minute sessions, and they're not responsible for paying it. I do this at a really reduced rate through my nonprofit. So that way they can still get help and they don't have to pay for it. So it's a fraction, but my thing is, if I can do it, then I'm going to. So that's what I do with that side. With the nonprofit, I'm trying to get bigger. I do back to school parties and give out school supplies. I do end of the year celebrations if they did well during the year for the families that work with my nonprofit. I also am in private practice. I do adoption. I do relationship counseling, any type of relationship dynamics. I do. Got into a little bit of sports counseling, looking at the athletes and how the sports world is impacting our student athletes majorly. They're depressed, they're anxious. It's a lot. And this is why a lot of them aren't making it into the pros and the professional leagues, because their mental is not maintaining through. They had the support of the people around them growing up, but then they got to college and they just have fans.
Yes.
And fans don't support what they need in a developing mind. I deal with the males a lot because I have 3 boys and a girl. I'm a boy mom through and through. So they're my babies. They're the ones that I feel like get neglected a lot, especially our minorities. So that's what I do in my day. And I'm about to start working with a local school district. I'm going to develop their curriculum for counseling, for their school counselors to train them. Oh, lastly, I teach at Grand Canyon University. I teach and train counselors, school counselors, and their field experience.
Oh. So that's why it's so easy. You have a therapeutic vibe that you make us feel comfortable about actually releasing. Because, there's some people that they're just not relatable. And so nothing's going to get accomplished because we're going to be standoffish and you want to hold something back. But you seem like you have this kind of authenticity, a realness to you. It's like, oh, let me just go into one of us, or I could get something back from her. If I lob something to her, I feel like she's going to give me something good back in return. And I was wondering about that, but now I get it. And hey, let me tell you something. It sounds like you made a good choice. Like you needed that.
Listen, no, I tried to fight it. I was at track meets and people were, I know everything about this lady's divorce. I was just standing next to her, watching her daughter and my daughter run. I know about her divorce, how her child's taking it, how the baby father is not doing right, how she won't even refer to him as I knew everything, standing there for 5 minutes. Yeah. And I went back to coaching and I'm like, you know what? I don't know what I said to her to make her feel like she should tell me everything, but she did. So I got to do something with it.
I can't believe we blew through this time.
So fast.
But I intend to have you. No, but for our listeners and most importantly for me, it's my podcast. So if I want to do it again, I'm gonna run it back. We're gonna do a part 2. But I'm very just kind of curious on this one last question before we go. What do you still think you want to accomplish as you move forward? I'd like to know some of the goals that you have going forward. It sounds like you've been a very successful mom, which we didn't even get into. Oh my gosh, we're going to have to run this back. But what do you think I'd say, could you give me 2? What are 2 big goals that you would like to push for now at this point in March of 2024 that you see ahead of you?
I am still currently fighting and arguing with my university, Capella, and I can't wait till I get finished so I can put them on blast. I've been completing my doctorate. It's been done for months, but they keep having me pay for another semester because they won't review it. They keep having to ask questions. They haven't even got me to the point where I can defend it. But what I would say is to be able to make change on a larger level. I want to get back in. I want to get more into the curriculum for school counselors so they can better meet the needs of the children. And I want a facility where on a large scale, we can have families get together and maybe have entertainment. Like they have game nights and it'll be this family with this family or just your family by itself. That is my goal. That's where I'm trying to get to.
Wow. I like that. It's so like, would that almost be like a family boys and girls club kind of vibe?
Kind of, where we can have nights.
Yeah.
You can rent out space to do family gatherings. And because picture a big warehouse with the half walls dividing and splitting it into sections. You can have parties, but it's more monitored. It's more family oriented than you inviting everybody that you knew from Instagram.
Yeah.
So that's the difference, but it's all about building family and community versus just enjoyment and entertainment. So we could do different things there and they can play games. We can have get-togethers and movie nights and all of that, but in a safe environment where if you wanted to, we could have one big movie screen, but the families are able to sit separately in their own little fake living rooms watching it. And that's what I would like to do.
That's awesome. What for those who don't have the opportunity, if they don't know you, if they're just now learning about you, are there any websites, social media handles, any opportunities for them to stay in contact, participate, or even if they just want to be a fly on the wall and see how it's going, any of that?
Yes.
That you pass along.
So on Instagram is Mrs. MRS period SELRELIANT, Mrs. Self-Reliant is Instagram. On Facebook, I'm on LinkedIn. I don't do Facebook as much. I have a LinkedIn profile, and Twitter is where I just put the new article up to celebrate Women's Counseling Month or Women's Month. So that is there, and that is a benefit. And my name it's just my full name, Seryna Muhammad, and it'll say Wilkinson on LinkedIn. Okay. And I am on Psychology Today, therapist.com, all of those things. And for our college students, UWill is a system that you can use where you're not paying out of pocket. The grant is paying for you to get mental health counseling.
So needed. If I could tell you, I told you, I've been on 5 different campuses. I've been at UCLA. I'm at University of Texas now. So some national draws. So I'm talking thousands of kids.
Yeah.
Personally, I've probably come across at this point 1,000 kids that would have needed an opportunity to come across you, meeting you, having conversations with you. I'm talking athletes. I'm talking ROTC participants. I'm talking those in the Divine Nine fraternity sorority life.
Oh, yes. Yes.
You know, I'm a member of a Divine Nine organization. It's just almost all the different pathways. They could use this.
This is what their school counselor and their guidance counselors are supposed to be doing.
Yes.
I had a student earlier that was a neuroscience major. What are you doing with that? Who thought to make a freshman a neuroscience major?
Yeah. No, I'm in agreement. I'm so happy that you're doing this. Thank you for your time. And
thanks for having me.
This, you know, we're not done. You haven't heard the last of me.
Okay, I'm here.
And I'm also kind of curious, with right now, I hate to date the podcast, but we're in Women's History Month. You think I could maybe bring you back with another bunch of professionals, and we can have a couple forums to talk maybe about?
Sounds good.
Okay.
I'm open. I do coaching also, so I like the panels where we can have dialogue and an exchange because we all learn something, and that's what makes it even better.
And as an adjusted mom of, you said 2 boys, 1 girl?
3 boys, 1 girl.
You got to be kidding me. So you went,
please remember,
that's a lot nowadays.
My oldest will be 21 this year, and my youngest will be 13.
Yeah. So there's a lot of people that are even trying to figure out how they're going to handle 1 kid, and you done did 4. So they may want to
set high expectations. The oldest one graduated high school at 17 with a full scholarship, graduated college in 3 years.
Golly.
So it's that passion. You put it out there, and you raise the child the way per the child, not per the way you raise the other children. Oh, they're individuals.
I've always heard that you should never compare your kids.
And raise them how they need it. This one might need to be popped. This one might need to go on punishment. This one might need to get spanked. This one might be fine just talking to them. You never know.
Okay. So I'm already seeing, I haven't had a parents podcast yet. I'd love to bring you back for that one. Yes. I'd like to bring in some women professionals because I'm on a college campus right now. I'm talking to some freshmen and sophomore young ladies. And there's a freshman, she's in her 2nd semester. And you know what her biggest complaint is? No one's asked her out yet. Yeah.
That's honestly a positive thing because they usually jump on freshmen like.
I told her, I said, girl, you got the rest of your life. Concentrate on those grades right now because you can't go back and change none of this. I said, you good. It gives you a chance to focus.
Tell her the people that are there, they have nothing to offer her right now. So it's okay if they didn't hit on her. They have as much as she has, which is nothing.
So I want to put it in the pie. I want to put it in the pie with some ladies that she can listen to their voice because she ain't listening to my voice.
That would be nice.
We're going to bring you back. Seryna, thanks again.
All right. I look
this
forward
was
to
amazing.
it.
Have a great night.
All right. Thanks for having me. Bye-bye.